Hi everyone, good evening. It is Tuesday, February 26th, 2013. Welcome to the latest in my ongoing series of Transition Chronicles videos. It's sort of a video diary, I guess, of sorts that I'm partially making for myself, but also putting up online and on the YouTubes so that anyone else who's interested can watch. Anyway, so a couple of things that I want to talk about on this edition. First of all, finally got my passport renewed, which it had been a while, and it was important that I do this both because possibly at some point I'll have to travel to other countries for work, but also on a personal note, it was important that I get a passport because, presumably sooner or later, and hopefully in the grand scheme of things sooner, I'll be traveling outside of the country probably to Thailand for various sort of transgender-related procedures, first and foremost being facial feminization surgery. So the photo that's in this passport, I actually really, really hate it. And when I say that I hate it, I don't mean that in the kind of typical way that a lot of people just don't like their driver's license photos or their passport photos or what have you. I mean that it's really it's a dysphoria triggering photo. And what I mean by that is that when it's one of those photos that, when I look at it, it's a really sort of jarring and kind of painful reminder, I guess you could say, of how I look a lot of the time, I guess, probably to other people. And it's not that I don't know what I look like. I mean, I see myself in the mirror all the time. I see myself in these videos. But it's just that, to my eyes, certain photos and certain images make me look a lot more, if that's mannish or masculine, if that's possible, than I normally do to myself. And this happens to be one of those photos, and so it's just one of those kind of painful experiences to look at a photo that I think looks like particularly kind of mannish, and have that kind of just painful awareness that is me in the photo. Yeah, but the good news is I don't really need to look at the photo myself. It's and if this passport is what gets me to Thailand, which it certainly should be because they don't expire for 10 years, and certainly I hope this happens somewhere within the next 10 years, hopefully less than the next 1 year, but that is not yet set in stone. But in any case, then that trip to Thailand should kind of help me deal with that problem if all goes as planned. Second thing, I sent out, I requested some information from a laser hair removal clinic in San Francisco for my face, and the price that they quoted me is like $175 per session, plus, I forget, something like $5 on top of that for every pulse of the laser that happens in that session. They said that most people need maybe 5 or 6 sessions, so that's, looking like a $1,200 kind of expense, presuming that the laser hair removal can even do what I need. Some trans women need to go to electrolysis. Maybe this can kind of cut down on some of the hair growth, and then I can go to electrolysis for the rest. I don't know yet. We'll see. I haven't actually gone in for an appointment or even set up an appointment yet, but I will probably be doing that maybe next month or so. Just kind of want to budget for that and stuff. And the third thing that's kind of been going on that I wanted to talk about was, so in the past week at work, at the website that I write for, I've had two pieces that I wrote go up that have gotten a significant amount of attention. One of them being a review for a high-profile video game that just came out, so that got a lot of attention just by virtue of the fact that the game, there's a lot of interest surrounding it. The other thing being a piece that I wrote about women, female characters in games, essentially, to just keep it super simple. And both cases attracted a lot of comments, many of which were very nasty, you could say. A lot of just insults of me because I'm trans and that sort of thing. A lot of, just really, really nasty, hateful, ignorant stuff. And a lot of people sometimes ask me, how do you deal with it? How do you put up with all that just nastiness, all that ugliness that sometimes comes your way via internet comments? And that got me thinking about the fact that, I don't know how I do it. It's simply that the overwhelming majority of the time, such comments really don't bother me. And it's not that they make me a bit sad in the sense that I feel, they sort of serve as a reminder to me that we still have a long way to go in terms of just awareness and acceptance and just kind of learning to be kind to each other as human beings. Whether that's something that'll ever happen for the human race, I don't know. But, if I feel bad for anyone in those exchanges when someone just says something really nasty to me in a comment, it's the person leaving the comment, because I feel like, this may be, I don't know, presumptuous or arrogant of me. I don't know. But I often feel like it's unfortunate for that person to have such a kind of deficiency of empathy, that they can, that posting such a comment on the internet is something that they actually want to pour their energy into for a moment. And I start to wonder things like why, how did this person end up in this place? Like why are they like this? That sort of thing. But I don't know. Sometimes I feel like maybe I am the weird one to a certain extent, that maybe it's weird that those comments affect me as little as they do. Like maybe I'm kind of detached, disconnected in a way, and that, maybe that's not healthy, or maybe there's something, just something a little off about me, my usual kind of imperviousness to that stuff. I don't know. I don't think that I should let them get to me, really. I don't think that they're anything I should lose sleep over, or that I should let them get in the way of me doing what I do at all. I don't know. It was just a thought because there was a time there in these past few days where just a bunch of people were kind of saying to me, "How do you do it? I can't imagine. Like, I could never do that." And I'm just like, I don't know, whatever. So, yeah. I mean, I think it's probably for the best, given that it's just seems to be an inevitable component of my job that I'm going to attract those kinds of reactions a lot of the time from what I believe very strongly is a very small group, actually, in the grand scheme of things. They just are so noisy. You know, they're the very, very vocal, tiny minority. They just post again and again and again and just love posting, whereas the people who just come and, you know, read something and have no particular problem with the fact that I'm transgender or with what I'm saying about women in games or anything like that, they're going to be much less likely to feel motivated to leave a comment. You know, they read and they maybe agree, maybe disagree, hopefully are made to think about the issue a little bit at least, and then go on with their day and, you know, don't feel compelled to leave a comment or anything like that. So I just try to keep it in perspective, I guess. Anyway, I guess that's going to do it for this session, this episode. If you have any questions or anything like that, that you might like me to address in a future installment, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'd be glad to address most questions, I think. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. Have a good night.